In this video, you're going to find out the 3 biggest problems you're going to encounter when you start meditating and how to overcome them. I'm Stephen, Peace of Mind Coach. You can catch me on stephenwebb.com or you can catch my lives over on Facebook. I go live most days. Look, when we start meditating, one of the first things we come across is I hear from my students and clients all the time, suddenly they sit down, they start meditating, and I give them like a few days to do it. And they come back to me and they say, I can't do it. There's no way I can stop thinking. In actual fact, when I sit down and meditate, I start thinking even more. My brain just goes into overdrive. That's normal. That's normal. And that's a good progress. And she'll tell you why it's good progress. It's because our minds are designed to think. That's what they're there for. That's what they do. They've kept us alive for how long? But the thing is, when we sit down and we go quiet and we start focusing on our breath or doing anything like that in the way of like waiting for the doctor or queuing up somewhere, when we just take some time out, we suddenly become aware of what we're thinking. And this happens with meditation as well. We suddenly realize how much we actually think and how many thoughts we have. Well, Stanford University reckon we have between 60,000 and 80,000 thoughts a day. Just think about that for a minute. That's a thought every 1.5 seconds or so. Crazy, crazy. So when we sit down and start meditating, we sit down there, say for 10 seconds, and we breathe in for 1 and we breathe out for 2, in for 3, out for 4, and we get to 10. We've already had like 7 or 8 thoughts. And if you're anything like me, what's the thoughts? Why am I doing this? This isn't working. I can't do this. I've lost count. Why bother? And then we go into this thinking of the ego, the I. The thinking goes into this. I can't do it. I'm just not up to this sitting down, no thinking. Well, meditation isn't about sitting down and no thinking. Meditation is about controlling the thoughts. Meditation is about becoming present, seeing things for the way they are, connecting with the body, controlling how we feel, understanding how we feel, seeing how we feel, seeing the thoughts come and go. So if we start thinking of the thoughts as clouds going by, that's a thought. That's a thought. We don't actually have to go with the thoughts. And that's the whole idea of meditation, is that we learn to have thoughts, but not become the thoughts. So if you're sitting down to meditation thinking that you're going to sit there for 20 minutes or even 5 minutes and have no thoughts and just be absolutely present and still and go, no, it just doesn't work like that. Even people that have meditated for 10, 20, 30 years don't sit down and have no thoughts. That's not the idea. The idea of meditation is to sit down and be aware of the thoughts. Be aware of what's coming and going in your mind. Be aware of your emotions and feelings, but not to become them. So we make them an object. We objectify them. And we can label them. That's a bad thought. That's a good thought. That's an angry thought. That's a sad thought. That's a lonely thought. That's a fear thought. That's a guilt thought. And then we don't actually have to be them. So after a while of meditation, you realize this one sentence becomes true. I have thoughts, but I am not those thoughts. I have feelings, but I am not those feelings. And then we realize that during a single day, we have hundreds of feelings come and go. We have hundreds and thousands of thoughts come and go. And that's normal. So don't sit down and meditate and attempt to meditate and then suddenly have these thoughts and go, I can't do this. Can't do this. So that's the first problem most people encounter, is they overthink. They think, well, I can't do it because I think too much. Well, congratulations, you're normal. And how would life be if you didn't ever have thoughts? You wouldn't function. You couldn't function. Thoughts is how we function. Thoughts is what make things things. That's what brings form into the world. Thoughts. How could you prepare tea? How could you drive a car? How could you love someone? How could you care about someone, have compassionate understanding if you didn't have thoughts? So that's the first one. That's the first main myth. The second one is it isn't working. So we sit down and meditate for a few days. If we can get over the fact that we overthink a little too much, and we sit down and meditate maybe a few days, maybe even a week or 2 weeks, and we feel a little calmer during our meditations, but we don't see anything really shift in our lives. We don't see this magical health benefits. We don't see this magical open-mindedness, this new caring and compassion. We still get angry, we still get frustrated, we still get stressed, and we still get anxious about things. You know, that person still triggers us. So we think it's not working. Well, here's the thing. The meditation, anybody can stay calm on the cushion in the morning at 6:30, 7:30. Sitting in the car 5 minutes before going back into work at lunchtime. But that's not what you're meditating for. Yes, that's a nice bit of calmness. That's a nice bit of time out. But you're meditating so you can see more clearly during the day. You can be more compassionate and open-minded. And you can do this for one reason. During the meditation process, you have a thought or you have a feeling. And you catch that thought. You become aware that it's the thought. And you return to the present moment. And that returning is the muscle you're building. That ability to, wait a minute, I'm not present here. I'm thinking about something else as opposed to listening to my colleague. I'm thinking about something else as opposed to having empathy for somebody. I'm here panicking about next week when the phone's going and we pick up the phone and someone surprises us and we're like, oh, for Christ's sake, I can't deal with this right now. And that's the whole idea of meditation, is that if we're present, the more and more time we spend during the day, when we're with family, at work, when we're with the kids, the more time we spend in meditation, return into the now, the more we are prepared to deal with whatever comes up in life. It's about creating a gap between what's present and what happens. And if there is a gap between what's present, what's now, what's really happening, and anything that occurs, we can respond. We can respond in a caring, compassionate way. We can respond with clear wisdom. We can respond with our hearts, and we can come at it from a different approach, as opposed to panicking and running or jumping into some kind of anger and fear and shame and all these other automatic reactions we have when we're not in control. So meditation is about creating that gap so we're in control of our lives. So how do you know it's working? Well, suddenly 1 or 2 weeks' time after a while of meditating, something will happen. And you will respond, you will be present, and you will help the situation instead of making it worse. And then instantly, in that moment, afterwards you'll go, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. The third obstacle when you start meditation is falling asleep. This is one that I've been meditating now for a good part of nearly 5 years, and I still fall asleep now. Now, for me, it's a little bit different because I'm paralysed, as you probably know. So, 6:30 in the morning, my Sangha group comes online, and we all connect with Zoom. And because I'm not going to get my carers out of bed at 6 o'clock to get me out of bed so I can sit up in my chair to do my meditation, I use the electric bed and I sit up in bed. Well, there's a problem there because my mind still thinks I'm in bed and I'm sat there and I'm still comfortable. So therefore, sitting there for half an hour, just sitting there, focusing on my breath, focusing on maybe a I am or a no koan. Whatever our meditation takes, it's so easy to fall asleep. But there is things that I've learned that we can do. First of all, I presume you're unlikely to be paralysed like me. So therefore you could go and sit on the edge of the seat, or maybe sit on the edge of the bed, cross your legs, sit on the edge of the bed. So if you fall asleep, you'll fall off. Trust me, you'll stay awake. Or we can make sure our back is straight. Make sure we're sat right upright. Keep our chin in slightly. And stay focused on something, not just sit there. We can make sure we're comfortable, but not too comfortable. Don't have the room so comfortable and warm that it's beautiful and nice to fall asleep to. Have a little bit of chill in the air. Drink a glass of water before meditation. Then I know you may think, well, I'm going to want to go to the toilet during my meditation. Well, that's okay. Go to the toilet if you have to. You know, we're not 200 years ago in Japan. You know, if you've got a scratch it. If you're uncomfortable, move. It's fine. But return to the breath afterwards. But yeah, if you drink a glass of water, your body can start doing its functions. It can start waking up in the morning. On the other hand, at night we can use the meditation to go to sleep, to slow down, to nod off. So don't look at sleep as a bad thing. And even the Dalai Lama said not so long ago, sleep is the best meditation. If you're anxious and stressed, if you're tired, use meditation to go sleep. It's fine. And the one last tip I want to give you is don't be mad with any thoughts. Don't be mad when you fall asleep. Don't go, oh, for Christ's sake, I fell asleep. It's fine. Don't, oh, I was thinking. Just, that's a thought. Return to the breath. Because the more angry you are, the more frustrated you are, the less likely you're going to meditate and it's going to work. The whole idea is to become more tolerant, more caring and loving. Yeah, subscribe to my channel, leave comments below. Please, in the comments below, tell me what problems you have with meditating. And I will reply as soon as I can to the comments. I just love hearing from you guys. And I'll be uploading a video every week. And take care. Namaste.